So, did you know that a single misstep with your payoff demand letter could cost you thousands or delay your refinance? Now, you don't want this to happen. So, in this video, I'm going to be breaking down the most critical things that you need to know to get it right the first time. So, I've seen borrowers scramble at the last minute because they didn't truly understand their payoff letter. And trust me, it's not a mistake that you want to make, whether it is missing the exact payoff amount, not meeting the deadline, or sending funds to the wrong place. Some of these small errors can make big consequences for your refinance. Now, this is why I'm here to simplify everything for you. But stick around because there's just one secret that I'm going to allow you to understand and equip you to handle this payoff demand letter and ensure a smooth refinance per process for you. So let's go ahead and dive in. So some of the key four things in a payoff demand letter is like the principal balance, the full interest being charged, as well as the next due date, per diem, which is typically, like if it goes beyond that date, or per day, and then along with the expiration date. And what a payoff letter looks like is typically it'll be on the letterhead, and I'll show you one right here. So So it'll be like on the mortgage companies later have payoff demand, have the principal balance I talked about it, interest, the statement of fee, recording fees, all the fees on on here where you have to wire the information to the bank or mail the funds to. Now, all of this information, and one of the key things that recently working with this real estate investor as she was paying off a private mortgage, and the one of the biggest things that was challenging with her on this property is that it was about a $200,000 difference that was showed on the amount that had to be paid off on the title work. So typically, as when you pull title, any indebtedness that's on the property has to be paid off or cleared up. And one of those things that we saw is that we wanted to get that payoff letter, but also understand what goes into it. And one of the key items on there, the reason why we wanted to know the payoff, that the information to pay off was that interest that was owed. And you call it a sneaky way or whatever you want to call it, but like if the interest is out of whack, what that means is that the borrower possibly missed some payments in the past. Now, think of us as a lender. Do we want to take on those challenges in there? So, like on that payoff, so bottom line is make sure that the payoff is just clean. It's just one big payoff. It doesn't show a whole lot of fluff on there because we can see if just from the payoff letter, if there's possibly some missing payments just from that interest. And just working with her, you wouldn't have even thought of that because and it's mainly because the payoff that was on the title work versus the payoff information was out of whack. So that's why we wanted to pay the per diem rate and so forth, the other information, because typically when you're paying off some private investors, so forth, there's not as detailed as that document that I that I showed you. So it's easier to see. So make sure that that information is clear. Now, Just no, what if you're not in that situation where, everything is good? What are some of the three things? Well, I'm holding up four. I just talked about one, but there are three things or critical information on there is the accurate total payoff amount, because the letter should provide the exact amount required to pay off the existing loan, including, like I mentioned, the principal, interest, repayment penalties, and any additional fees. Because this accuracy ensures that the borrower, you as a borrower, can secure sufficient funds through refinancing without risking any short payments, because you don't want to have to pay two different mortgages, us with the new lender and so forth. And I'll just point this out, mainly because as a lender, we're in between like a traditional mortgage company and hard money, as we do 30-year mortgages on investment property with pretty much just a 2 to 3 page application. And so the key, and we're not asking for tax returns, financials, and so forth. So, just keen information like the payoff letter for us could be really, really, really important, right? All right. Also, number two is the payoff date deadline. So, the payoff demand letter typically specifies a payoff deadline, which the calculated amount is valid, right? And then beyond that, then it's a per diem. And so borrowers need to coordinate the timing of their refinance funding to align with this deadline to avoid any potential interest accrual or recalculated amount. So again, you don't want to be paying two different loans. And clear payment instructions. Borrowers must receive precise payment details, such as where and how to send the funds, either wire instructions or mailing address. And this ensures the payoff is processed correctly, avoiding delays or misapplied payments, which could impact refinancing timelines and credit reporting. Because I've I've seen, not with us, but I've seen with others, that where somebody didn't get a payoff, and then that misapplied from the old lender, that, hey, we didn't get everything paid off, and then so they deemed the credit for that. And so we definitely, at working with real estate investors and so forth, we work really hard get the detailed, and working with the title company, because they have a what's called a closing protection letter to make sure that the details are all right. But these are the information and details. But you as a borrower, the key thing that I would most important is make sure that no interest or whatever, like, we're not missing anything, that we're not inheriting any potential problems. All right, thanks for watching. And definitely down below, there's this document for 5 ways to finance a real estate investment company. And one of those ways in there is how to get access to capital without a personal guarantee, or putting up real estate and assets, and or giving up ownership in the business and so forth. That's a good free document that you can access. All right. Have a good